I like it. I like it a lot. Got another tool review coming to you today. I'm reviewing the Vevor air jack. Now this is something I've been having my eyes on for a while, and they reached out to me, was wanting to know if there was anything I needed or wanted to review. So I'm like, yeah, I want to review that air jack. They didn't ask me, I asked them. I was able to pick what I was wanting to review. And the biggest reason is I do not have a big hydraulic floor jack from the shop here. I did have one here. My friend, I actually did some work for him last summer on his son's air conditioner, and I told him, I said, well, I'm gonna need a few things if you got them. One of them was a floor jack, so he recently come and got that, so the timing is perfect. So I've got this Vevor 5-ton air jack. I think you're gonna be pretty impressed with this, especially for the price point. Let me go ahead and show you what we got here. All right, so I've already cut the tape on the box here, and that's all I've done. We're just going to take a quick look and see what we got in here. I'm not one to do unboxings too often, but first thing I see is a little owner's manual. We'll set that off to the side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put this thing together, and then I'll show you exactly what was involved. It looks really easy from what I can see. You got these two parts handles here. This will go into here, lock down. This will go to the base. It will screw down. This hose here, it goes up through here. There's a little control box at the end. It's really just that simple. All right, I did want to mention before I get started that there's your hardware here, but if you'll notice, there's a hole in it. It got busted in shipping, and I was fortunate enough to recover the proper amount of screws that was just random in the box laying across, but I've only got one of these Allen screws here, and this takes two of them, so I'll just have to use one for now. I'll figure out what size it is and pick up another one at Lowe's. Just want to point that out. It's not Vevor's fault. I would say it's the shipper's fault. The box is a little beat up, and it obviously took a pretty good little hit to do that. What I would probably do if I was them, that's awful thin, I would just use some heavy plastic bags that's sealed, and I doubt that would happen in the future. So installation on this is a piece of cake. Now there's different models of these, and my model is one of the bigger ones right here, but some of them have like a blue handle that will let up and down and things like that. This is fixed. That's welded, and I'll show you the other here in just a second, but it comes with these 4 screws, and they're countersunk. If you'll notice, the bottom of this thing is completely flat, so you can't have bolt heads or anything like that. So they got these countersunk. And then this hose right here, I just inserted that in and ran it up. And then right here, this actually slips out. You can see the hose. I took it and I brought it through this little slot here. So what I want to do is try to get this as straight as I can. That looks pretty good. And I want to go ahead and tighten this one Allen screw. Make sure it's all the way in. It is. All right, good deal. Now what I found, since I could not find that other Allen screw, set screw, is I found a bolt with the same thread pitch, same size. See if I can get it started. There we go right there. I'm gonna tighten this down, then I'm gonna cut it off about the height of this one right here. All right, this is where you control it with your valves and all. Now they sent 2 of these, but what I noticed about them is they bottom out. It's like they're not tapered or anything. And so, hang on, I'll show you here. Let me see if I can get that started. It's kind of a loose fit. It just bottoms out, so you'd have to put some thread dope on there to stop that from leaking. But what I'm going to do is I've got one right here, got some Teflon tape on there, and this one is actually tapered to where it'll snug up on its own. So I'm gonna go ahead and tighten this up. Go ahead and run this bolt, tighten it up, and cut this off. Then we're gonna put this thing to work. But very, very simple, straightforward installation. Also, you have to hook up this tube. The other end's already hooked up for you. You have to slide this nut up on the tube and push it over the fitting here, and then just tighten this up. Now you can cut this to fit. I didn't worry about that too much. All right, I've already got my air hooked to it. This green one, when you open that valve, that's what sends air to the jack itself. This one needs to stay in the off position, and once you want to let the jack down, you can open this red one, and you can also undo the air and open the green one. You'll have air coming out of two places to help speed it up a little bit. This is a pressure relief valve. I don't have no pressure in it now, I don't think. We'll check that here momentarily. Yeah, that safety relief valve, that prevents you from over inflating this. Matter of fact, we're going to max it out right now. I don't have my compressor on, but I think there's enough air in it to do it. Wow. Check that out. All right, that's pretty much maxed out, I think. Let's try this relief valve. Make sure it's working. It is working. Check that out. I can't even get it all in the video here. Make it a tape measure and see what that is. All right, so let's just lay a square up here. I want to see what the, and I don't think it's still not quite all the way up, but it's up pretty good bit. That is 17.5 inches. Wow. I actually think it'd probably go up to 18 if I would have kept the air going to it. Also, you might would think that if this thing started lifting up weight, that it's liable to just fall over one way or the other. Well, listen to this. I don't know if you can hear that. This has actually got a metal piece up in the, under here to stop this from going over. Now it's meant to go a little bit, like a little bit, because if you're going to jack a car up like on one side, then it's automatically going to try to pivot because you're actually raising at an angle. And so you'll have a little bit of that. Don't let it freak you out when you see this thing go up. I'm going to try to lift it up dead center of my truck if I can find a cross member that will do that. Now letting it down is probably going to be a lot slower than letting it up. So let's vent it off. Yeah, it's not bad. Hydraulic jack, of course, is going to let down a lot quicker, but hey, once you're done, you're done. What difference does it make how long it takes, unless you're moving around different parts of your car or whatever. Keep in mind there's no weight on it, it's just the weight of this that's pushing this air out. Alright, I think I'm going to fire my compressor up, let this thing charge completely up with air, and go ahead and try this thing out on my truck. So I just checked it on my car, and I actually didn't think that it would go up under it. And it's about 5.5 inches when it's completely deflated, and it was enough room. Like if I wanted to rotate tires or do brakes, this jack would definitely work. Now if I had a flat, probably not, but I do carry a little hydraulic jack in the trunk just for flats. Alright, so I went ahead and got it up underneath this cross member, and I went ahead and eased it up to where it likes about an inch hitting the cross member. I'm going to go ahead and add some air. Now I'm going to do this slowly. I don't want to do it super fast. You're going to read your right hand gauge and,
looking at it, Russ.
And then rotate that regulator inward. Not counterclockwise, but clockwise.
That's what I'm doing.
Is it going up any?
Yes, it's starting to.
Just turn it till it hits about 150. All right, I had to adjust my air pressure on my regulator. It was set too low. Let's try it again. Slowly. Oh yeah, now we're talking. How about that? Both tires are off the ground, and it'll keep going. I ain't near about maxed out. That's gonna work perfect. I like it. I like it a lot. All right, let's let this air out. Fantastic. Now, of course, I always use jack stands once I get something jacked up, to where in case something happened with this jack, I'm not up under it. That's just common sense, not only for these air jacks, but also hydraulic or any jack. Use jack stands. Now, as you just heard, it will scrape the bottom until you come up. Now the tires are on it, the wheels. Now I love the way it stands straight up, which means you can put this anywhere and got all kind of room. Unlike a hydraulic jack, they tend to take up some room, so I can put this virtually anywhere, plenty of room for it. Like I said, it will scratch the bottom on your pavement, unless you had some sort of cardboard or something put down. I'm not worried about that. I'll keep a check on it. If I see rust coming or whatever, then I'll take care of that then. $138 is what this is listing for right now on their website. And if you're registered, I think it goes down to like $122, plus I'll have a 5% off code inside of the description box. I'll have a link to this one. They do have other models, and if you want one for a car, you might want to choose one of their smaller ones. This one will work. And speaking of that, you can stand on this. If you want to collapse it all the way, you can just lay this down and stand on it, and it'll get it all the way down. Here, let's try that. Oh yeah. All right. All right, so overall, my thoughts, I love it. Absolutely love it. And it works perfect. It's going to be great for this truck. I've got a job that's going to require me to get up under this truck here very soon. And that is replacing this neutral safety switch right here. What happens is over the years, this will get all gummed up in here, and when you're in between gears or trying to shift gears, it'll hang up sometimes between gears. You'll think you're in gear and actually it's in neutral. And that kind of goes back when I first got this truck. My buddy told me that the guy that had it told him that it didn't have reverse. Well, it does have reverse. This is the culprit right here. So I'll be doing that soon now that I got a jack to get this truck up in the air. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed it. If you're interested in this jack, I'll have a link in the description, as I said earlier. 5% discount, plus if you register. And registering is free, by the way. It doesn't cost anything. That's just if you're going to shop at Vevor more than once, you might want to go ahead and register to where it remembers you. And you get an additional savings by doing that. I'm Russ Jones with Skill Savvy DIY.